create another layout. So this is my inspiration. It's gonna say happy time, enjoy every moment. I'm gonna change it a little bit. And it's gonna have 2 photos. It might be a little changed in 2 square photo. It's gonna be a little change from that. But basically this is my inspiration. So let me bring it up so you can see it. Okay. So the paper that and by the way, if you want to know where that layout is, it's actually from, it's in Pinterest and it's from scrapbooking.com. And that's where I found the layout from their board. So I'm going to be using some of this paper. Now this paper is actually just wrapping paper. And it's nice and thin, and it already has some decor on it. And I got this at Target for $1. So I cut it in strips, and that's gonna be kind of my washi tape. And I might make some more decorations on that. The other pieces that I'm gonna be using is this camera, and I am gonna use this little wood circle, and I'm gonna put that in the middle. But I'm gonna go ahead and paint that. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna paint it. But I'm going to either emboss it or in paint or do something to it. And I may or may not use this camera, but I do have a tutorial how to create these kind of shapes and how to crochet. So I'll put the link, and you can click on the link, and I'll show you how to do that. I am going to use some of these stamps. This is the Snap stamp, and it's the daily. So I'm going to be using this somewhere in the layout. I'm also going to be maybe using this one as well. And this is also from Snap, and this is the Snapshot. That's the name of the stamp. These are the 2 pictures that I'll be scrapping. And then I'm going to use, I may or may not use this piece. This is actually from this paper. It was a long time ago that I bought this, so I'm not sure what paper pad it came from, but I just simply cut out this strip out, and I might use this top portion for the file folder tab. This, I'm going to be using this. This is something that I created with scrap pieces of paper, and click on the link and I'll show you how to create this. I have a tutorial how I did this. I'm going to be using some craft cardstock, and this is just from Joann's. I got this in a paper pad, and if you go this week, they have all their paper pack for the craft, or even the white and the black cardstock, and it's on sale for $1.99. And you get 20. I'm going to be using this, and this is from Downtown Collection, and it's from Pebbles. And I'm using the brown. This is from another paper, and I believe it's from My Mind Eyes, and it was like 6 years ago that I bought a paper pad when Costco used to sell scrapbooking items. So I'm going to be using this paper. And then I'm going to be using this one, and this is from Tuesday Morning, and it's from the Paper Company Studio, and it's Autumn Harvest Floral Brocade. That's the name of this paper. And I'm going to be using this for my lettering, and I'm going to show you how to create a nice script without using your die cut, using just a pencil. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is mainly for my lettering. And I might use some foam letters to complete the layout. So I'm going to start cutting the pieces. So here I cut out the pieces, as you can see there, and I changed the background cardstock because when I used craft cardstock, it was blending too much with the pictures, and the pictures were not looking as great. So by switching up with a lighter cardstock, it really helped. And then here I'm just putting a little bit of some of white paint with some black watercolors. I'm using my Quick Cuts die to cut out the word Rebel. And I haven't been using these dies, so that's why I decided to start using some of the tools that I have and start incorporating those into my layout instead of using stickers or the gypsy. It did not record where I was showing you how to create the lettering. This lettering right here that I hand create. It just didn't record. I do show you on the video how to put the embossing powder to kind of give it that sturdiness. I did that same example here in this layout. There's no video process on this layout, but in here, I created this one when I was on travel, and I didn't have all my scrapbooking tools, none of my die cutters or anything like that. So what I decided to do was to take and write the word unscripted in my own handwriting on a piece of paper or on a cardstock, and then cut it out. I cut out the word, each letter individually. And then I went ahead and put some nail polish. So my glitter nail polish, this here, that I've been using more and more. And that's what I use to kind of give it a little more strength on the letter after it was all cut out. And then I glued it on the scrapbook layout. So that's how I did this. That gave me the idea to create this one. So I'm going to show you how to do it because it did not show. So what you need to do is you need to go ahead, and I'm going to show you the word enjoy. You need to go ahead and write in cursive with a pencil the word enjoy. Okay? And then I go and kind of outline it a little more. Okay, so that's how, so this is the word that you see, enjoy. Then you're gonna need a craft knife, and you're gonna also need scissors, both of these. And we're gonna cut our letter out. So carefully you're going to cut all the letters out, and that's why you make the line a little thicker, so that way you have a guide. But you don't have to follow exactly the guide. You can always trim it out a little thinner or thicker, however, whatever suits you or it looks nice. So I'm not cutting, if you notice, I'm just moving the paper and not the scissors. That will give you a more uniform cut. Now I'm going to use a blade. So I'm using the blade to kind of cut out some of the areas that was harder to cut with my scissors. And sorry that I'm off frame here, but just basically just cut out the O's and the circles, the stuff that it's hard to cut with your regular scissors. Okay, so there you have your letter. So here it says enjoy. Then watch the rest of the video and I'll show you how I use embossing powder, and then in order to make it a little sturdier and to hide those pencil marks, because if you try to erase it, you're gonna break the word. It's very delicate, so you really cannot kind of try to erase or do anything with it because it's going to break apart. So the best thing that I found to do was to do embossing powder. As you can see here, this is with embossing powder, and see how nice and sturdy it makes it. Or you can use glitter. So I used my nail polish glitter, and that created this, and it made it nice and sturdy as well because it has that nice coat of lacquer on there. And so let me just frame out. So as you can see, it gives it that little touch to your layout. It's just, to me, it looks wonderful. It looks perfect. You can make it any size. You don't need a die cutter. The possibilities is endless with this tip, because you can really customize your whole layout. So continue watching my video and how I emboss it. So I got this embossing powder by Stampendious, and it's a gold glitter. I'm going to be using this tinted embossing, what's it called? Embossing pad. So then you're going to make sure that you really get a good coverage with this embossing pad. So with the embossing ink, so that way you get a thick coverage. So now I'm going to bring over a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to use my glitter embossing powder. And I noticed that the glitter embossing powder works a lot better than trying to use glue and glitter. And when you heat it, look how nice it really looks. It looks just like you bought it at the store.
and it just has your individual touch on your layouts. So now I'm going to start assembling the page, as you can see there, and I'm using some of that wrapping paper that I bought at Target that reminds me of washi tape. And I'm just kind of figuring out where I'm going to put all my lettering and that washi tape, because I did put washi tape on the top, or let's say full washi tape on the top right hand side. You have to usually the good design if you repeat it somewhere else in the paper. So here I'm just kind of creating a little bit of tags using those snap stamps that I just purchased, and then I'm going to use those hearts. So I'm going to cut out all 4 hearts, but I only end up using 3 hearts throughout my layout. Another good rule of design is to repeat things in 3. So that's why I'm going to only use 3 hearts, and it's basically just repeat things in odd numbers. So I'm cutting out these hearts, which I use the same technique. I embossed it with glitter embossing powder. Then I'm cutting my tag, and I felt that it needed a little bit more, so I'm taking another stamp that has an arrow and it says right now. So I'm going to cut that, and that's going to be part of the cluster that I'm going to create on the lower left hand side of my layout. And then as you notice right there where that large picture is, there's a gap between the end of the chevron paper that I make and the top of the file tab and the picture. So in a moment you'll see that I'm going to go ahead and take a stamp, and I'm going to stamp a saying there, and that will fill in the gap and it will make everything look. So here I'm just finishing up, and I have this roller stamp that I can spell any word, and it's an EK Success stamp. I don't think you can find it anymore in the stores, but you can find something similar in the clay aisle. So here I'm filling up that gap with a saying that says I love you, and it just makes everything kind of go together, and it's more pleasing. So I'm going to put last touch a geotag, and I'm done with this layout.
And I think that's it. So I'm done with this layout. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching. Bye now.